say that the East is not really up for grabs like the West isn't. And I feel like the trilogy. We're gonna have we're gonna have great block, Kevin Durant. We're gonna have Cleveland, Golden State. And speaking of Cleveland and Golden State, who are y'all MVP, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, six man? For me, I actually have LeBron winning his fifth MVP. I do, because he's a hero again. Most rational people like him again. Durant and Curry are going to cancel each other out. So I think that in Westbrook is going to San Antonio has an 11-point lead. That's crazy. Excuse me. And I think that Kawhi will sneak in. I don't think Westbrook will have the team success to get it. My Coach of the Year, if Boston does what people think they'll do, Brad Stevens will win it. Defensive Player of the Year, probably Draymond. Sixth Man of the Year, I'm hoping Jamal Crawford stops winning these things. Like six man is more than just offense, man, and more than just inefficient offense at that. Like Andre Iguodala could have won it last year. Lou Williams was more efficient last year. Like, Manu Ginobili's always in the running. Actually, Patrick Patterson had a sneaky six-man case last year. So, let's look for other people other than Jamal Crawford. My choice is probably going to be Patrick Patterson, actually. He's a stretch four now. Pretty good defensive player, mobile against the pick and roll. As far as that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's all we were doing.
Yeah, we only were doing four.
You did
okay.
MVP, Rookie of the Year. Did you do Rookie of the Year?
No, I did not. Okay, my Rookie of the Year, I did do six. My Rookie of the Year is Joel Embiid.
That's not do six anyway.
Is Joel Embiid.
I'm gonna give Lentz's and I'll give mine. Lentz has Harden for MVP.
Oh God!
Good thing he's not here to argue that.
He has Chris Dunn for Rookie of the Year. Coach of the Year is Tom Thibodeau, and Defensive Player of the Year is Dwight Howard. So those are his.
Yeah, I wish he was here to say, where do you currently reside, Lentz?
I really love to get explanations for some of those because Dwight Howard, the Dwight Howard of the last 3 years, to me doesn't look like he has defensive player ability. I don't know if he'll get defensive player of his team this year.
Right, correct.
But anyway, so for my list, and you may disagree with one or two of these, Rookie of the Year, I like you, Turner. I have Joel Embiid. The couple of things I've seen, I haven't watched any games, but I've seen highlights and I've been looking at box scores for the preseason. He's done a lot. He's scored in a lot of ways. He's grabbed a lot of rebounds, created turnovers. He's playing really well. If he stays healthy, I think he's got a chance to make a huge difference this season. He, in my opinion, shouldn't be considered a rookie since he got drafted 3 years ago. But, that is what it is. I'm really interested to see him get on the court finally. I'm excited about it. I don't want him shooting threes. I don't care about Jahlil Okafor or whatever else. I hate 290-pound center shooting threes. But I think that he's going to be a Rookie of the Year. He's going to be one of the most exciting players that you'll never actually see on TV because he still plays for Philly. Nobody's going to watch him play. They're not going to put it on TV. My Coach of the Year is also Tom Thibodeau, and a big part of that is because I had Minnesota making the playoffs. I think that what you'll see is that team play so many good games being so young. It's going to make him look good. until the playoffs, at which point everybody gets hurt and they fall apart, just like it's been for the last, 5 years that he's coached. I think it's going to be, same story, different book with him. I think he's going to ruin some careers in Minnesota, but it's going to start off great. People are going to be really excited when they go to the playoffs this year. 3 years from now, when none of these guys look like you thought they would, he'll probably be out the door once again. That's neither here nor there. For this year, I think he's going to be coach of the year. Brad Stevens was my second for the same reason, because people are super excited about something that nobody else really sees. But if they end up being the top 3 team in the East, I think it'll be really hard to ignore him for coach of the year. So that was why he was my second. This one, I know you're probably not going to agree with, Turner. I got Draymond Green for MVP. I literally wrote down Westbrook and then scribbled it out. I don't think the team's going to do well enough, like you said, for him to get serious consideration. I think he'll be in the conversation, but I don't think that – I can't think of a player that's won MVP and a team didn't go to the playoffs, and I can't see OKC going to the playoffs. I mean, he could honestly average 38 and 11 this season, and they probably still won't go to the playoffs. It'll be too hard not to put him in the MVP conversation, but I don't think he'll have enough support to win it. He might make an all-star game, which would be really impressive for a guy on a losing team, but that's as far as it'll go. I think Draymond Green is really going to be the guy that puts that team together as far as chemistry. He's going to be the guy that kind of makes that team come together, especially offensively as a facilitator. And I honestly think he might end up being a guy taking some shots late just because there's so many people. I think him being a guy with the ball in his hands is going to end up meaning him taking some shots. I could be wrong by that, but I think that he's going to surprise and really come out and make a difference in some games this year because I think they're going to have chemistry issues early. Not big ones, but I think there's going to be some confusion. I think he's going to end up having to bail the team out in some ways.
Well, they need bailing out right now because they're losing by 11.
To who?
San Antonio.
Oh, nice. Well, this could be his first step for his MVP candidate.
Sure.
And you're going to call me biased, and I'm fine with that. But my defensive player of the year is Andre Drummond.
What?
I told you weren't going to agree. So he averaged 15 rebounds a game last year. He actually had a pretty good steal rate for a center last season. I know you don't care about those stats, but his biggest thing was that he didn't block shots very much. And I think that's going to change this year. I think he's going to continue to blossom. He's in his early 20s. I think he's 23 or 24. He's still young. I think this will be the year where he really comes into his own on the defensive end. I think he's going to change the game or change games for them in a lot of ways. And if that Detroit team comes out and does well, it's going to be because of him on both sides of the floor. I don't want to make the Dwight Howard comparison, but I think he's going to be in that same kind of mold when Orlando made it to the playoffs and looked like a title contender early in Stan Van's time there. I think he's going to come out. I mean, he had more 2020 games than anybody last year. I think he's going to come out, continue that dominance, but also continue that as a shot contester for the first time in his career. I think he's going to be hard to ignore in a defensive conversation. What you got, Purvis?
Well, from an MVP, I'm going with Russell Westbrook. Now, I got good reasoning for it. I'm going with Westbrook mostly out of default. I think it's going to be a season where you got a lot of star players playing with other stars on their teams. And I think just the voters are going to look at it and see that if Westbrook can take OKC to the playoffs, they don't have to necessarily be good in the playoffs, but if he can put that team on his back, keep doing the triple doubles as he usually does, and then you look at all the other teams and the superstars, and there's always there's LeBron and Kyrie, there's the Warriors and all the different players they have. All the good teams have pairs and trios of big names right now. Now, who's to say that maybe OKC has somebody? What is his name? Oladipo, whatever. Huh?
Steven Adams? Or are you talking about Oladipo?
Oladipo. I'm thinking either one of those two. If they could step up and help that team win, but this would not be the season that they would step up, help the team win, and you'd consider them like a pair. It's still Russell Westbrook and team. And I think that with that, it'll be the lesser of splitting votes between the players, because a lot of the players' negative detraction when they get in the votes will be that, well, they play with these guys. You won't be able to say that with Westbrook. No one is going to look at the OKC and be like, well, Westbrook is only playing well because he's with these people, or they help take pressure off of him. So I think that'll raise his status as an MVP candidate. That's why I would pick him. That's my reason behind that. Defensive player of the year, I don't have one. I don't watch defense. I've written down like so many names. I'm just like, I really don't understand or think I can predict who's going to play good defense. It's just not me. I like to watch people dunk and shoot threes. Rookie of the year, I also don't have one of those because I don't watch college basketball. So nothing I could do. But I'm not gonna just say random stuff. Coach of the year, I do have Thibodeau, contingent on the fact that the Timberwolves get into the playoffs. I think if he gets that young team into the playoffs, you have to think that he did something to get them there because they're so young and they have a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but you don't see that they're necessarily a playoff team. And I think their coaching and Thibodeau doing it would be what puts them in the playoffs, and that would give him Coach of the Year for me.
I honestly didn't expect people to agree with me on the Thibodeau thing. I really thought I was going to be the only one, and I hated having to do it, but I think the way he coaches is set up for regular season wins and regular season awards. I don't think he'll ever be a finals coach. I just don't think his players will survive long enough. But his approach to the game makes them prime for regular season recognition.
Yeah, I mean, because he runs those boys into the ground. I mean, I feel bad for Towns. Like, I wouldn't have let him near Karl Anthony Towns.